All right, well, give me your all-time Rumph 5. What's your 5? Who's the top 5 guys? You know, I don't care about positions.
It's the duty of a civilized person who's a member of the 5 said nations to teach civilization to what? The uncivilized.
Peace to the God. Peace, Allah. Hey, yo, there go that brother Grand Poobah. Heard that brother got knowledge. Yo, True and J, brother. Yo, let's have that brother come over and add on to the site.
Black Cajun Sports here on the campus of LaSalle University. It's that time of year again, so I figured I'd come out and try to get the scoop on what we can expect from the Rumph this year. I'm here with my man, Mike Marack. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. I can't complain at all.
Mike, you know, when I was a kid, we had this the Baker League All-Star game. And I would read the newspaper. And I mean, I'm a little kid, and you would see Bill Bradley, Earl Monroe, Ray Chink Scott, Joe Bryant, Lou Lloyd, World Be Free, Darryl Dawkins, Billy Ray Bates. And so you're a little kid, and all these NBA guys come to Philly in the summertime, and they're playing basketball. And over the last few years, you guys have kind of taken that baton and given all the local kids a chance to come out and see NBA level talent, some of the best local guys that we have competing in a fun-filled, family-friendly atmosphere here at LaSalle. But before we talk about all the basketball, what is the mission of the Rumph? Why do you do this every year?
So what we say is it's the Save the Next Bright Star. So what that is as a foundation, we do heart screens for young athletes. We actually have one September 15th at Mallory Playground, now the Danny Rumph Rec Center, for ages 5 through 19. Anybody has any young kids, whether they're an athlete or not, love to have them come up. It'll probably, we haven't finalized the times yet, but probably between like 10 and 2 or 10 and 3. So it's really just to catch somebody that suffers from some type of heart abnormality, and try to make sure that other families don't have to go through the same thing that that the Owens and Rumph family went through when Danny passed away. It's something that can, like, Danny passed away from a heart disease called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the same thing that took the life of Hank Gathers, Reggie Lewis. There's been a lot of other young athletes in the area that have passed away in the last couple of years, whether it's at a high school football practice. There was a young kid that passed away. I'm not sure what he was diagnosed with, but at an AAU tournament this summer down in Virginia, there was a D-League kid.
Oh, yeah, that was a big story.
Yeah, there was a kid in the G-League that passed away from another type of heart disease as well. So there's a lot of these things that young athletes can be identified and caught before ever having an issue. So what we do is we do the free heart screenings. We also do CPR and AED trainings, just trying to give people the life-saving skill sets that if something were to happen to a friend of yours, or if you're in a gym or somewhere and somebody were having to collapse, you'd be able to help them and give some life-saving training to them. So a lot of that is really why we do it. Like, we want to make sure and help out and catch young athletes that suffer from a heart disease that may not have been identified to have an actual test or their doctor. And then just giving the parents that resource to feel comfortable, like, hey, you know, making sure that my kid is healthy.
How long you been at this?
This is our 13th year.
13 years?
13 years.
So what are some of the milestones you guys have? You guys bought the machines, what they call those machines? Defibrillators. You put those in fire departments, rec centers. What are you doing?
So what happened when Danny collapsed in the Philadelphia Rec Center, Mallory Playground, there was no defibrillator in the rec center. There was a blackout at the time, so the local firehouse was closed. The ambulance came from West Philly. It took 45 minutes to get there. Nobody in the gym knew CPR. So people thought he had a seizure. Now you know he's laying there and nothing. He doesn't have the tools to save his life. So what we first started doing was putting defibrillators in the recreation centers. And a couple years into that, we were able to do a partnership with the fire department. So they gave all of their old defibrillators to the rec department, like through our assistance. So, you know, now we've got defibrillators in all the rec centers.
Every last one?
That's what they tell me. I haven't checked every one of them, but if somebody sees one that doesn't have one, please call me. So now we're getting more into the preventive stuff. Like we want to catch kids on the front end instead of waiting until somebody collapses and they need a defibrillator. We want to try to help identify kids on the front
screenings and all of that stuff. All right, now let's talk about the basketball, man. Now you've had, this will be the 13th game or series of games, 13th year.
Yep.
What's your best memory? What's the best game on the court?
Funny, somebody else just asked me that. So I've got a couple really great memories. The one memory was when Mo Spates came to play for the first time, and he walked down. We were in the playground, and he walked into the registration room. Wasn't a lot of people in the gym yet. By the time he got his uniform and he ducked his head to walk into the gym, you couldn't see a wall. So he looked around. He was like, "Man, where'd all these people come from?" So to see him get out there and kind of embrace the culture and the atmosphere, and then for him to play against Wayne Marshall at the time, and then realize that Wayne was a heck of a basketball player.
Fair too, yeah. We got some locals.
Yeah, it was a heck of a matchup. And then I think there was another time when we were at the playground. I looked up and there was probably, out of the 10 guys on the court, there was like 7 NBA players. And it was like, man, we've got a lot of talent out here. That's when we started looking at, we got to find a little bit of a bigger venue.
Recent years, you guys have had what? Harden, and you had Lou Williams seems to be like just a mainstay here.
Well, Lou is he loves summer basketball, and so does James Harden. Like those guys love to play basketball. They love to play in different cities. They love to play in cool environments, and their game matches summer basketball. It's a free flowing. They like the trash talking. They like to hear different crowds getting on them, and they score at will. So, I always thought, I was like, I don't know if Will would be able to come in here and score 40 to 50, and he came and scored 40 to 50. So it was.
Luke can shoot from half court.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
like
incredible.
Flick of the wrist.
Yeah, he's incredible. It's Chuck Ellis' work.
Chuck Ellis, hey Chuck, good work, good work, Chuck. So, what you expect this year? If I buy a ticket, I'm coming down. Who we gonna see, man? Who's the defending champ?
Chuck Ellis workouts are the defending champions.
You like Chuck to hold his title, man?
I mean, Chuck is definitely going to hold his title, because I'll break the news that Chuck is not playing this year. Chuck has a great opportunity to go to China.
I see some highlights of Chuck down in Atlanta. He's still playing, man.
Chuck is probably one of the best defensive players that we have in Philly. He's a heck of Chuck is still a great basketball player. But no, we've got a great group of teams from top to bottom. I know this will be, so ADI has a team this year. We're excited to see what Jamie and his group can bring. Tony Chenault has a team this year, so we're excited what Tony's going to be able to do.
Okay. How many teams altogether? 8.
We have 8 teams.
Okay.
Khalif Wide and Marathon Sporting Company has a team, so we're excited what they've got to offer.
Now, is this single elimination if you lose?
Double elimination.
Oh, you get, all right.
We give you a chance. Those first 2 days are pretty aggressive. You can't, I tell everybody, you can't duck anybody in this tournament. You're going to run into somebody. And the way that it is, we keep 8 teams to keep the competitive balance. Like, every team has to have multiple really good players. So it's a way to make sure that you don't have 12 to 14 to 16 teams and everybody wants their own team.
Yes.
It's like now you got to figure out a way to play together, which I think is the best way to play competitive basketball.
So when do the games start?
August 2nd, 6 p.m. will be the first game. We'll have 4 games.
Tuesday, Wednesday?
That's Thursday.
That's next Thursday.
Next Thursday, August 2nd, 6 p.m. We'll play 4 games on Thursday. We'll do 4 games on Friday.
Starting at 6?
Starting at 6.
See, your last game started 10?
Yeah. Actually, 9.
Woo! Woo!
It's a long day.
Yeah, that's a long day, man. And then so you go Friday.
Yeah, we'll go Friday. We'll go Saturday. We'll do Friday the same time frame. Start at 6. Saturday, I believe we start at 11. We'll do 4 games on Saturday as well.
Okay.
And then we'll do one of the semifinal games will be Sunday at 1 o'clock, and then Monday at 7 is the championship.
Monday at 7 is the championship. All right. And how much is a ticket? Can you get a pass for the whole thing? How does this work?
We just ask for a donation of $15 at the door.
Okay.
I believe we'll have some options for passes across the board when you get there on Thursday.
Is there a website where people can get information, or a Facebook page? Or
we normally post
Instagram?
Everything on our Instagram. So if you go to @Rumph Classic, RUMPH Classic, that's normally the main hub for information.
At
RUMPH Classic.
Classic. All right.
So normally, today's technology, everything just goes through the Instagram page. It's the easiest, probably way to upload videos and communicate quickly.
So, since you've been following this thing and you've been intimately involved from the beginning, who has the advantage? Is it the young bucks or the wise old heads like Hakeem Ward? I mean, we got to consider him an old head at this point. I mean, he was young, flying 10 years ago.
He's a veteran.
Does he still, really kind of dominate up there, or the young guys on his ass, or what? What's going on?
I definitely encourage everybody to come out August 2nd to see the Hakeem Ward banner being placed.
Banner?
He was MVP last year, so he still got it. He won a championship. Hakeem is also I mean, maybe 2 people that have played in all 12. So we're hoping that he's able to get out here and play in the 13th one. But yeah, last year I think it was his first championship and he got MVP. So we're excited to put him up on the championship wall this year. But yeah, it's a mixture. You need a couple young guys that are going to be able to play
with some stamina,
day in and day out.
Every day, got to recover. Come back that next night. Man.
He's certainly a little bit of a different player than when we first started this. But he's still the same player. He still plays at a super high level. Give
me your all-time Rumph 5. What's your 5? Who's the top 5 guys? I don't care about positions.
I gotta go Marcus and Markeith.
Both of them.
I gotta go both of them.
Are they playing this year?
You gotta show up. You gotta show up August 2nd. Find out. I think Rodney Green.
Okay.
I gotta go Sharif Bray.
Okay.
Man, that's a tough one. So I got 4. I got 1 spot left.
You got 1 spot left, man.
Oh man, I gotta go Hakeem Ward, man. Mr. All 12 so far.
Okay, so who's the MVP all time of who's the first ballot Hall of Famer for the Rumph Hall of Fame, man?
Because I didn't get to name him in that last 5, I gotta go Mike Green.
Mike Green.
Yeah, Mike Green is certainly one of the players that helped put us on the map.
Every guy you named, I think, except Sharif, played Division I. Sharif was 2.
Yeah, Sharif was a Division II All-American, born and raised in Mallory Playground. So us starting over there, he was a knockdown shooter. So had a couple really good games when we played in the bigger gyms as well. But he's one of those kids that if he wanted to, he could have made a lot of money playing basketball.
Well, August the 2nd.
August the 2nd.
Next Thursday. 6 p.m., 4 games. Friday, August 3rd, 4 games. Saturday, August 4th, not at 6 p.m. You said 1 p.m.?
11 p.m.
11,
yeah,
so
it's early.
Saturday morning. 4 more games.
4 more games.
And then we're in the playoffs.
All
right. Well, we really appreciate this, Mike, and we look forward. We're going to be there, people. Check it out. Black Cajun Press, Instagram, all that. We're going to get the word out. We're going to take pictures. We're going to have a little bit of highlights. I try to grab an interview or 2, but those guys be so intense. I don't know if they'll do it. All right.
Black man is a dog spelled backwards. The maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, father civilization, God of the universe. Manifesting thoughts with my infinite styles, making sure this travels 23 million miles. The other 6 I set the crucifix because the heart of the problem is this. Big on it, God.